The John Lewis Partnership is the largest employee-owned company in the UK. With a history dating back over 100 years, it has survived 7 recessions and the Second World War. We are Dynamite Consulting, and we are here to present how John Lewis has sustained its success, the challenges it currently faces, and provide recommendations on how to overcome these challenges. So, how has John Lewis sustained its strategy? Throughout its history, John Lewis has created and captured value through its 7 guiding principles, the core of which is its purpose: the happiness and satisfactory employment of its partners who share in the rewards. Value is delivered through 2 partnership brands: John Lewis department stores, including Peter Jones, and Waitrose high-end grocery stores, both of which service customers with a premium range of quality goods. This has led to massive trust and loyalty with its core customer base. Collectively, this has sustained John Lewis' competitive differentiation and advantage throughout its history. In the last 5 years, partnership profits have been significantly eroded in 2 ways, putting enormous pressure on the partnership. In the last 5 years, partnership profits have been significantly eroded in 2 ways, putting enormous pressure on the partnership. Firstly, the changing retail landscape, and secondly, changing consumer behaviors. So firstly, the retail landscape has changed dramatically in the last 10 years with the growth of online competitors, such as Amazon and Main.com. This has brought into question the purpose of a department store. Secondly, competitive discounting in both grocery and department stores has hit John Lewis. For example, cash-strapped rivals House of Fraser and Debenhams have been heavily discounting, and this meant that rising costs associated with John Lewis never knowingly undersold price pledge. Meanwhile, in grocery, the growth of discounters Aldi and Lidl has put pressure on Waitrose to decrease prices of essential goods. At the same time, we have seen a huge shift in consumer behavior. Consumers are increasingly focused online, prioritizing ease and convenience. This has also made consumers more price sensitive. Furthermore, John Lewis' middle and upper class target market are increasingly consumer conscious, resisting aggressive consumerism and making more careful decisions about how, when, and where to buy. In 2020, we have seen how these changes have been dramatically accelerated with the global pandemic, and this has exacerbated the problem for John Lewis.
While John Lewis and Partners have experienced declining profits the last few years, gross sales figures have remained consistent. Losses experienced by the John Lewis department stores during the first COVID-19 lockdown this year were offset by an increase in sales at Waitrose, leading to a 1% increase in gross sales for the half financial year ended July 25th. Despite maintaining year-over-year financial sales figures, the company reported a £162 million operating loss for the period. 3 key areas of concern we've highlighted from John Lewis's financial reports are increasing operating expenditures, the outsized impact of exceptional items, and the drag on financial resources due to the partners' pension plan. In addition to rising operating expenditures, exceptional items have consistently had an outsized impact on the bottom line profit margin reported by the company. One-time increases from changes to the company's pension schemes approved the net profit margin in 2018 and 2020. However, in contrast, a £471 million impairment charge was applied to John Lewis department stores in the 2021 half-year financial report due to a projected decline in future in-store sales. This resulted in a half-year reported loss of £560 million. The organization's ethos and duty to benefit its partners has also led to financial challenges. An audit of the partnership's pension plan in 2013 unveiled a pension deficit in excess of £800 million. Through a series of changes to the plan since then, the company has made strides to reduce the strain on its resources and free up capital for the organization to utilize productively. The recently announced freeze on the partners' bonus until debt ratio and net profit targets are achieved is a prudent measure in the short term, but it may lead to additional challenges within the organization. Next, my colleague Sachi will discuss the broader organizational challenges that John Lewis is currently facing.
Next, I will take you through the organizational challenges that we have identified that include changes in the leadership of the top management at John Lewis, as well as the bonus and pension cuts that David mentioned in the previous section. The company is built on John Lewis's concept of industrial democracy. The structure is based on the common belief of shared profits, shared knowledge, and shared power. This vision is reflected in the Constitution, which has a historic significance for the company, and it sets standards and guidelines for the partners. The Constitution ensures that all changes that are made within the company are true to the John Lewis values and principles. In order to successfully implement crucial decisions in response to the changing retail landscape today, the top management will have to overcome the potential challenge of convincing their partners to trust in their leadership and their vision. They will have to allow for the democratic functioning of the company to continue while still making the decisions and keeping and ensuring that it is still based on mutual benefit and gain. The current climate of the retail industry is now tougher than ever, and the task that the new executive team is facing is to implement the new financial disciplines while making sure that they reflect the principles of the John Lewis partnership culture. The decision was made to cut the bonuses for the first time since 1948, and they are not to be expected to be reinstated until 2022. This has to be delivered to the staff without putting the motives of the new executive team at risk of looking out of touch with the partnership culture at John Lewis. The company went through a major structural change when it merged with global giant Waitrose. They formed one merged executive team of 8 people, 5 of whom joined in the last year. This includes the chairman, Sharon White, who started her tenure back in February. The main task for the management is to make sure they keep the culture of the company alive. Their culture, which is their biggest asset and strength, needs to be protected while undergoing these structural and strategic changes. While implementing these changes, the executive team, led by Sharon White, could meet with some resistance to change, which is natural because a majority of the company's workforce has been with the John Lewis family for many years. Now that we have discussed some of the issues of John Lewis and Partners, I would like to take you through some of our recommendations that we have to overcome these challenges. One of John Lewis's greatest assets is its partner-owned, value-driven model. Embracing its roots is going to be key to maintaining the culture that made John Lewis a strong brand that it's been for so many years. The first step we'd like to recommend is to develop an interactive employee app modeled after the Gazette, John Lewis's internal magazine. Turning the Gazette into a digital app will create opportunities such as Innovative Idea of the Month that can be submitted by any partner. The reward would leverage existing assets such as a £500 John Lewis gift card. It could also be a way for the executive team to interact with the longer tenured employees at a scale, gathering their knowledge while helping the employees feel engaged and valued. This will help to keep the shared power and shared knowledge principles in focus while re-imaging the shared profit. Next, we'd recommend John Lewis rebrand as a social enterprise. They already quietly refer to themselves as one due to the partner-owned shared profit model of the business. Making that a more prominent aspect of their brand will help John Lewis appeal to a more socially minded demographic who may not be keen to shop with them before. Likewise, partnering with key social impact movements that align with the company's values will help John Lewis attract a new customer base that may not be aware of their history and what the company stands for. While embracing John Lewis roots will revitalize the ways in which value is created and captured. We propose that value delivery needs to be reimagined in 2 ways: digital transformation and strengthening their retail assets.
The partnership has introduced an ambitious plan to transform profits by targeting 60 to 70% of sales coming online for John Lewis and 50% online for Waitrose by 2025. We feel the partnership has underestimated the innovation required to deliver these goals. In order to be successful, the partnership will need to put digital at the center of value delivery, beginning with the appointment of Chief Technical Officer with a budget suitable to manage a team of professionals capable of delivering multiple digital solutions across both brands. This would include merging the John Lewis and Waitrose digital platforms to leverage a cross-brand, data-driven consumer journey. Furthermore, they should engage a digital partner to manage data, cloud computing, and machine learning more efficiently. Lastly, it is essential that they invest in a creative and engaging digital marketing strategy designed to connect with a new, younger customer base. John Lewis' 5-year plan introduces their brick and click stores as showroom strategy, which includes converting store space into apartments furnished by John Lewis. We feel this plan will fall short of transforming their retail assets and propose a more ambitious and far-reaching strategy is required to integrate digital ambitions. Firstly, we suggest that underperforming stores can be closed to reduce operating expenses and provide financing for store transformation. One such transformation will be opening up of John Lewis click and collect booths in a residential neighborhood, broadening the consumer base and allowing customers to try on and return clothes in an entirely automated, socially distanced and safe way. This increases ease and convenience for customers while also reducing overheads and reliance on direct delivery and return. We also propose transforming remaining stores into experience-led hubs. For example, partnering with local chefs to create live in-store demonstrations using Waitrose and John Lewis products. These experiences can be integrated online through virtual delivery. Meanwhile, for those in-store, digital integration can be achieved by providing QR codes linking the Waitrose ingredients and John Lewis kitchen equipment you will need to cook this yourself. Secondly, the John Lewis name has history and with it deep values. However, the higher price points across its brands and current styles aren't affordable or associated with youth. That's why our final recommendation is for John Lewis to introduce a sub-brand under the name JLP to target young consumers. The JLP sub-brand can partner with models and influencers that appeal to Gen Z, while offering more affordable products. John Lewis has already the infrastructure to produce the clothes as well as the distribution network. JLP would remain tied to the high-end brand name of John Lewis while still having enough autonomy to prevent lowering the value of John Lewis brand name. In conclusion, John Lewis business model is rapidly becoming outdated as the department store model is continuing to be called into question in our changing retail and consumer landscape. John Lewis must reimagine the resources and capabilities that they have while leveraging new talent and deep-rooted knowledge to remain relevant and viable in this quickly evolving market. We have proposed 3 recommendations which will have the most impact in driving profits once again: embracing partnership routes, digital transformation, and strengthening retail assets. Thank you very much.